in a perfect tense in the Greek language. Now, it may not mean a whole lot to you, just listen, but it means a whole lot, because a perfect tense means that I didn't start today. I didn't start today. Somewhere along the way, something went on in my life. I encountered God, and I formed this relationship with God. And what I'm saying is, what I formed back there is still prevalent and is standing strong now. So it's permanent. See, some people don't have permanent faith in the Lord. A lot of people have it today. They believe. You know, I know. But something can start happening a few weeks later, they're on another side. But Paul has said, I have closed the door. There's no wishy-washy. Remember last week we was talking in Romans chapter 4 where it says that he did not waver, where Abraham is saying he did not waver in unbelief. In other words, he came to a permanent position. There was no dibby-dab back and forth. And this is what has to happen. You have to get to know God in a way that you can come to a permanent place where you're not back and forth. So the man is saying, I know whom I believe. I know whom I believe. And I. And that's all you need to get you through life. You have to make it that pronoun I. It has to become where it is I. It can't always be just we. I know, I'm in the mix of the we, but with all, a lot of times we get into a collective group and we can try to hide behind some of the particular things that some of the folks in the lake. But listen, life will flush you out. Life will flush you out where you got to come to the place where you have to really say, I know in whom I believe. The whom. Notice again, the focus is not on what he promised, but up on him. See, a lot of times, one of the problems I have is that a lot of people are only trying to find out about the promises that go with it. But they're not trying to really get strongly connected with the person that did the promise. In other words, always running, what promises are in it for me? What promises do I have? What promises are for me? What promises? Well, that's fine. But what difference if you don't get to know the person that made the promise? You don't want to have faith in the promise. You want to have faith in the person that made the promise. You understand that? Because the person that made the promise is the one that got to perform the promise. I know in whom I believe. I know. Secondly, I am persuaded. I am persuaded. I am what? I am persuaded. What? Permanent. Now listen to me. You can get a tape if you need it. But I told you that the first statement is in a perfect tense, right? Which means something. I started back here. He said, I got persuaded back here. There was enough stuff that went on between me and God that I got persuaded back here. And I've walked with him a long time now. And what I'm saying is, I didn't have to go to the altar to get re-persuaded. All right, I don't have any problem with rededication. I don't have any problem with reaffirming your faith. But I think there ought to be something that you can get a hold of that ought to have a permanent status, that you shouldn't have to keep pressing it out every day. He says, I'm persuaded. Now, there's a little difference in this. The perfect tense here is in a passive voice. The first verb is in an active voice. That means it's something on. But a passive voice means that something is acted on you upon you to get you to the place you're at. It means that something happened to you. Somebody made something happen to you. And what happened to you has such an effect on your life. In other words, you didn't really cause the position you have yourself. It's something that somebody else did that brought you to the conclusion that you're coming to at this point in time. So what Paul is saying, I'm persuaded. But he said, I'm persuaded. I was persuaded back there. But what the man is saying is, something happened to me in life that affected me so much that it affected me and it acted upon me and it left me persuaded. So I want to know, when you look over your life, has anything happened to you? Has God done anything in your life that it has such an effect upon your life that it's left you in a certain position in life? So you can't claim credit for being persuaded yourself. I mean, what happened is, when God got a hold of you in a certain way, did a certain thing in your life, it was so much effect upon your life that God left you in a condition that you live like that forever. Yeah. No, I'm not persuaded because I can understand this verse. I'm not persuaded because of all the stuff I heard. I'm not persuaded because of stuff I've acquired. I'm persuaded because God did something to me, and when I start looking it over, I can't get over it. I haven't got over it yet. Hallelujah. Every time I think about it, my God, it just pushes again. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You got to understand that God have done stuff for you in your life. You letting the stuff that God have done for you go to waste. The devil be trying to beat you up, harass you, and talk trash to you. Listen, God has done so much for you. All you need to do is grab what God has done for you and the effect that he's had upon your life. Hallelujah. 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 That means that God have got me out of jams before. And I'm going to tell you, there was a major one he got me out of, and it had so much effect upon me that all the other ones I faced, I said, listen, I'm persuaded from that other one. I mean, I'm persuaded from the one before. Hallelujah. 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 I'm facing today's stuff from what happened to me back there. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You understand that? From what else already gone on in my life have set me up forever. Hallelujah. That means God wouldn't have to do anything else for me. I mean, what God has already done for me has such a major effect upon my life. If he never did another thing, I start walking this earth saying, I'm persuaded, I'm persuaded, I'm persuaded, I'm persuaded, I'm persuaded, I'm persuaded. Hallelujah. Well, you're facing this now. Things are kind of tight now. I don't care how tight it is. I don't care what I'm facing. I got persuaded way back there, and I'm still persuaded. I'm persuaded now. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Woo! Hallelujah. 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 I mean, I got so persuaded back there at the other thing. You understand what I'm saying? That when I had the back surgery and had to learn how to walk all over again, I got so persuaded before that. So I just got out there and started walking. I could only walk down to 3 houses the first time, but I was so persuaded that I put my shoes on again the next day. I said, I'm so persuaded. From what God has already done, that you're going to walk as far. And oh, by the way, thank all of you all, because yesterday I walked the 5 miles that you donated to. And I'm not bragging, but I was the first one to walk the 5 miles. And when I got through walking, and the brother said, my God, man, you walked 5 miles like it was nothing. Because I had 2 of them, they were up with me, the brothers, first 2 miles, we was talking all, but when on that towards that 2nd mile, the brother said, man, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to have to go on security duty now. I'm going to go into the shed. Hallelujah. And as I was walking, I said, Lord,